Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing this very early December the 3rd, 2025, 6:54 a.m. Gold Standard coin analysis. And if we look at what's going on in the Bitcoin price, you can see it's been jockeying up and down, and this is why we're making the video. You can see it did hold after it came down and retested the 85,428 on that double bottom here. It did hold it here. Now we've been pushing to the upside, and it's still squeaking up to the upside. It's about to come up to the overhead 50-day moving average in the daily time frame, which is still trending down. And this is what we were looking at yesterday. Would this keep trickling up and come up all the way off of the 100-day moving average in the weekly time frame and make a run at the 50-day moving average in the daily time frame at 98,000 and change, and potentially the 50-day and the weekly at 100,000 and change? And that's what we're going to be looking at this week. But one thing we're still noticing is the volume is slowly declining as the price is inching up and sideways. To me, eventually this price, as we've been forecasting, will eventually roll over on itself, and I think end up back at the 85. And then if it does, that's going to tell you it's going down to 66,000, and there's going to be some big problems in the cryptocurrency sphere with some of these quasi Bitcoin and Ethereum and crypto treasury companies that have mortgaged and borrowed and sold their future away and gambled essentially in a way to try to bet that Ethereum and Bitcoin would only go up, but those things don't pay a dividend, and you have to pay interest on your debt. And as the price doesn't appreciate and actually goes down, it increases your spread in debt, and then you start getting margin calls, or you start having to pay off some liquidity to keep fending off the collectors, right? But you can see Ethereum now is crossed back into the 3,052.94, this bottom part of this green support and resistance box, and that's what you need to keep doing to stay bullish. Now you need to stay in here and hold it, and then try to work your way up near the 50-day moving average in the daily time frame, and maybe potentially punch up near the 200-day at 34.80 in the top part of the screen support and resistance box at 34.72. Because if you don't stay in there, and whether you get all the way up here or not, and if you end up back down out of here and come into this area, you're going to break that and you're going to come down to this 24.75. So it's a very interesting times. But again, just like the Bitcoin price, you can see that the volume has been substantially falling in the daily time frame. If we go look at the XLM price, you can see the XLM price has come all the way back up off the 200-day and the weekly at 21 cents, and it's now initially got rejected by the 50-day or the 100-day overhead in the weekly, which is to be expected, but you've held now just above the support zone, and now you're making another run at this 50-day, 100-day moving average in the weekly time frame. And if you break that, that's what you need to do to get short-term bullish. Hold that and then try to reattack and take out the 50-day and the daily at 28 cents, and then potentially maybe try to come up near the 100-day moving average. But there's a lot of overhead bear action going on, but this is a key area that we're watching. Can you get over the 26 cents? The same thing with the XRP. You bounced off the 100-day moving average, at $1.84. Now you're making a run near the overhead 50 in the daily, which is sitting right on the overhead 50 in the weekly at 232, and that's your major overhead resistance, and that's what you need to get above to try to get short-term bullish. And if you can't get above that or stay above that, and you end up back near the $1.84, you will quickly come down to the $1.36. So this is a very critical time for a lot of these coins coming up against their overhead weekly time frame 100-day moving averages and 50-day moving averages. And if they don't hold these moving averages, there's a big potential fall to the downside. Like the channel, subscribe. This was just a brief morning update. Peace and love. Jay.